Alright, hello again there, folks. This is Sullla once again. We're going to do some weekday streaming for a change, largely because there is this new Master of Orion Reboot game that came out last week, and I kind of want to play it. Normally, I don't stream during the week because I'm tired from being at work, and I usually just want to like chill out and watch TV or watch like something on the internet or whatever. But when I have a new game, I'm a little bit more interested in checking it out. So I'm going to go ahead and start a new game. I'm going to go ahead and try to test one of the races. I've played a little bit with two races. I was playing a game with the Bullrathi on stream right after I bought this game. I was trying to figure things out. And offline, I played a game with the Sakura, who I think are pretty good. The general consensus amongst the people playing this game right now, and this game is in early access, it's not finished yet, but it's pretty well polished for an early access game. You can see there's races that aren't released yet, and the biggest issues are there's some things that aren't in the game yet. Espionage has not been added to the game yet. There's races missing. The AI is really bad. Not really a surprise. But yeah, so it's not finished, but for an early access game, it's in much better shape than a lot of early access games I've seen. Anyway, so I played briefly with the Bullrathi and the Sakura, and now I'm going to try out the Psilons. For those of you who haven't played Master of Orion before, yes, it's a pun on Cylon from Battlestar Galactica, spelled differently. The Cylons' big thing is they are good researchers. In the original Master of Orion, they were the game's strongest race. Them and the Klakons were the game's two strongest, but generally perceived as being the game's strongest empire. And people on the forums are saying that they are very strong in this version too. I guess we'll have to test that out. They are supposed to be physically very weak, but they are great researchers. Brainiacs, as you can tell. They're kind of like the classic aliens with like the big eyes and the bald heads, although they have 4 arms, which is kind of interesting. So here's their big advantage. They get 50%, research is 50% faster than normal. That's research from population, so it's not all research, but basically the way this works is early game you don't get. Here's the way I've been playing this game so far. Early on you don't get that much research from population, but as you start to hit like the mid game, you start converting more and more of your research starts to come from population. So this feels like a trait that kind of develops in like the mid game, and like by late game you're just exploding past people in research. That's how I'm taking this. They also are able to ignore low gravity, which is pretty nice. Planets can have low, medium, or high gravity, and if your race is on planet with gravity you don't like, it cuts production in half, which is a pretty brutal penalty. That said, I played the Sakura. I thought they were really strong because they don't need to eat as much food, and they grow much faster, which is a really big deal in this game. Imagine in a civilization game if you didn't need as much food to grow in your cities. That's kind of what it's like in this game as well. So Sakura ability is pretty good. Certainly the Sakura felt stronger than the Bullrathi, I have to say. The humans, I'm not sure I really want to play right now because they get like espionage bonuses, and that's not even in the game right now. So that would have to be kind of, you'd be playing like a challenge if you were playing them. I'd like to play on a spiral galaxy, but currently you can only play medium or large maps. What I found is even the small maps feel pretty big to me. A small map still ends up with like close to 100 planets, and that's an awful lot. A large map is very large. I don't like the games where you end up with so many planets that they all run together and they're kind of boring and uninteresting. So I will mostly be playing on small maps. I've looked at the game's code. You can look, of course, at the files, and in the game's files, they have more sizes than they have here. Like, they have small, medium, large. There's apparently a huge size and also a tiny size, but they're not in the early access build yet. So anyway, we'll go small. Young means that the planets tend to be more mineral-rich and hostile, and old means tend to be more habitable. Let's go with old for something different. Oh, we can only play against 3 opponents on a small map? That's kind of a shame. I'd actually like to overload the map with like 5 or 6 opponents. Oh, the best reason to play humans is not hear their diplo. Okay, so when you talk with people, apparently the AI keeps saying friend over and over again. I'm wondering if they just haven't finished all the other voiceovers yet. Anyway, let's roll random map. That looks good. Oh, advanced settings. Random events. I'll leave them on for you guys. I don't really like Random events. I have no idea. I'm curious when it'll be out. I am not in development on this game. Just FYI, all I did was buy the early access game. Not working on this one. Don't have any inside information. So I don't know, but I'm curious to see where they take this, because this game right now is not great. It's solid. I'd say it's like a 5 or 6 out of 10 overall. They might be able to improve it to like a 7 out of 10. This game's never going to be like a true classic. It's not as good as the original Master of Orion. It's not even close. But you know, it has its charm, and honestly, there's not that many good turn-based strategy games out there right now. So I'm okay with it for right now. If nothing else, it's something new to play around with for a little while. And yes, this is early access, so there's a good chance... Again, I don't want to give the designers too much credit, but there's a good chance that they have more voice actor overs they're going to add at some point. Oh, by the way, early cinematic. Let's check this out. Let me know if you want the sound higher, lower, whatever's good.
Generation after generation, the isolated silent continents unravel the mysteries surrounding them. To add an iota to their combined knowledge. Now
I do like their ship designs. They all look like flying saucers for the Psilons.
their search for answers, to travel to the deepest reaches of the galaxy and solve the enigma at its core.
This game plays closer to Master of Orion 2 than Master of Orion 1, which is not a good thing in my opinion.
Greetings, controller. You are the controller, of course. It follows that I
This
am
must be the animated advisor for them.
operator. I'll be assisting you with any and all needs.
Okay, great, thanks. So let's see what we've got here. We're on the east side of the galaxy. 3 opponents. I used to think I was wondering if you could only start at yellow stars, because in the original Master of Orion, AI races could only start at yellow stars, but it does not look like that's the case in this particular game. Alright, so where do we want to scout out? There's 2 planets in this direction, so... And it's also core word. Okay, yeah, great, thanks. I know how to move units, thank you. So let's head this way with one of the ships. That's the only one that has... So you start with a frigate and 2 scouts. The scouts are unarmed. The frigate is the only one that actually has weapons on it. So we might as well head in each of the 3 directions and see what we find. There's no other planets in the home system. There's an asteroid belt here. Eventually, you can turn these into actual planets later on in the game. Michael Dorn is apparently the narrator in this game. Mentor has a moon, that's good. I don't know if it always has a moon. Actually, it has 2 moons. Having a moon lets you build some extra stuff. So let's check out our world. Large is good. Terran environment is good. Minerals are average. That's abundant is average. And artifacts mean we get a research bonus. That makes sense because we're the Psilons. So, we build a colony ship the first turn. This is like the game starts this way. You always build a colony ship the first turn, and that is rush bought, so we don't need to invest anything into production because this thing will complete no matter what, so we can reassign. Anyway, this is how you control your little dude. Oh, I guess you have to put 1 on production or it won't finish, so you got to put 1 dude on production. This is how you move your guys around. You click them and drag them. You can shake them around, blah blah blah. You tell them where to put the little workers. If you put them on food, it helps the planet grow. If you put it on production, you build stuff faster. If you put it on research, then stuff gets built. So let's see what we've got. Now, different races start with different techs, which is a really smart thing.
Our labs are staffed and ready to start researching.
Okay.
What should we focus on?
Thanks, buddy. So yeah, different races start with different stuff. So as the Psilons, we get this. We get the initial research building, a research lab, and we get the initial morale building, a government support facility. That's nice, but we kind of would prefer to have this, the auto factory. Usually the first thing that I build in colonies when they first get started because it provides production. Kind of useful to build production stuff first because then you, then you can build everything else faster. I don't know why it took me a minute to finish that thought. And then this hydroponic farm is quite nice too because it provides food, and obviously food is good because the faster you grow, the faster you produce more pop. To answer your question, Antisocial, they get more research, not surprising for the Psilons. I'm going to go ahead and research physics tech so I can get this auto factory. They get, yeah, thanks. They get bonus research, 50% more research when from population. So what we can do this first turn, we got to have one guy in production to finish that colony ship. Let's see if we dump everybody else into research. Yeah, see how it says +5? See, I should be getting 2. It looks like they don't have a graphic to show this. I'm actually getting 1.5 beakers for each one of these people. And fortunately, these initial techs are pretty... Alright, well, I do have to have enough food so the planet doesn't starve. Yeah, see, I can actually get this in 2 turns. Let's do this. There we go. So that will avoid rounding errors. We will get 6 research instead of 4 from population, which does matter this early in the game. And the game does have overflow on production and research. So, actually we can do... No, we still need... Gonna need this. So we're getting... Oh, look at this. We get 4.5, and it looks like it rounds up. Hey, that's cool. Always nice to see research round up. Cool. So we'll take that. I wonder if it tracks it to a decimal place in the overall beaker count. But anyway, this looks good. Obviously, population growth is key. Got to get buildings up so people grow faster, that sort of thing. But research is always nice. Yeah, apparently it rounds up, apparently. Right, 50% research is only plus 50% research. So anyway, what's this? Apparently we... Oh yeah, we found that system. So, not much to do. Let everything move out, and next turn, see what we spot.
Let me interrupt you.
So, we built the colony ship. Great, thanks. Now we have to figure out where to send it. So, we don't know where anything's located yet. So, I can have it sit here and wait, or I can send it blindly into the fog. I prefer to send blindly into the fog because I don't like waiting. So, I'm just going to assume that I can get something at one of these 2 planets, which is probably not a safe assumption, but let's go for it anyway. So, we'll move that out. Everything else will move forward. Did this ship already move? I thought this one didn't move yet. Alright, there we go. And I really like their ship designs. The little... I know I already said this, but the flying saucers are cool. Alright, so note that by building the colony ship, Mentor's pop went down 1. It went from 8 down to 7, so we've got 1 fewer little guy to work here. And now we can actually build stuff. But I think I won't build anything this turn. I guess we should dump it into the research lab. But for this turn, I think I'm just going to grow and research tech. Because I want to build an auto factory first. That's like the actual first thing I want to build. So, unfortunately, you can't leave the queue empty. You must... Oh, actually, it is going to let me keep the queue empty. Normally, they force you to build something. Interesting. Anyway,